Act as if your time has come, and you will discover that it has. The world around you is only the outpicturing of the inner assumptions you hold. If you continue to wait for evidence before you believe, you will wait endlessly. But if you dare to believe before there is proof, if you walk in the feeling that the thing you desire is already yours, then the outer world will bend itself to the mold of your inner conviction. It is not enough to say one day it will happen. One day is always tomorrow, always a distant point on the horizon. Instead, you must bring tomorrow into today. Speak and move and breathe as though the thing you long for is already complete. When you rise in the morning, do not rise as the one still searching, still striving, still hoping. Rise as the one who has already found, already achieved, already won. You see, nothing changes until you change the assumption from which you live. The secret is not in effort, but in acceptance. Accept now that your time is here. When you walk into a room, walk as the fulfilled self, not as the waiting self. When you imagine your future, imagine it not as a hope, but as a memory. Feel it as something that has already unfolded, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect that certainty. The invisible world within you is the true reality. The outer world is only its echo. If you hold yourself in the posture of delay, life will mirror delay. But if you carry yourself with the certainty that the moment is already yours, then life will conspire to prove you right. You need no sign to begin. The very act of assuming is the sign. So take on the manner, the voice, the thoughts, the emotions of one whose season has arrived. Let every step you take confirm it. Let your inner dialogue speak from it. And soon, what was once only felt in the silence of your imagination will be seen in the light of your experience. Act as if your time has come, and it surely will. The great mistake that most men and women make is believing that the hour of their fulfillment lies somewhere in a distant tomorrow. They place their hopes in the future, not realizing that the future is created in the present moment. To forever postpone the acceptance of your desire is to deny yourself the life you long for. The secret is not in waiting, but in living now as though all is complete. When you act as if your time has come, you are no longer seeking, you are finding. You are no longer asking, you are possessing. This inner change of state is the very key to transformation. You cannot rise into a new life while holding the consciousness of the old. You must step into the new man, the new woman, and live as if it were already so. This is not self-deception, it is creation. The outer world is a shadow. The inner world, the world of imagination and assumption, is the substance from which that shadow takes form. Think for a moment of the dreams you carry within. Perhaps it is success in your work, perhaps health in your body, perhaps love in your relationships, or peace in your heart. Whatever it is, do not look at it as something far away, something to be attained after years of labor. Place yourself in the very center of it now. Ask yourself, if it were true this very moment, if I were already living the life I desire, how would I feel? How would I think? How would I carry myself? And then begin to walk in that manner. Your imagination is not idle fancy. It is the creative power of God within you. Every image held persistently, every feeling embraced as real, becomes a seed planted in the soil of consciousness. And as surely as seed becomes harvest, so will your inner acceptance become your outer life. But the harvest does not come to the one who merely hopes. It comes to the one who lives as though it were already here. Consider the actor on the stage. When he steps into his role, he does not say, "One day I will become this character." He simply assumes it. He speaks the lines, he wears the costume, he moves with the gestures. In that moment, he is the character. And though he knows the stage is an illusion, the audience responds as though it were real. So too must you assume the role of the one you long to be. The world is your audience, and it will respond to the state you embody. Do not be concerned with how it will come to pass. The means are not yours to arrange. Life itself, with infinite wisdom, will orchestrate the events, the circumstances, the people who must appear. Your part is not to struggle, not to force, but to live in the end. Live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live in the certainty that your time has already arrived. There are those who say, "But I cannot act as though I am wealthy while I see lack around me. I cannot act as though I am healed while my body still suffers. I cannot act as though I am loved while I feel alone." To them I say, the very reason your outer world shows you lack, illness, or loneliness is because you have continued to dwell in that state of being. If you wish the outer to change, you must first dare to change the inner. You cannot wait for the evidence before you believe. Belief itself is the evidence. Faith is the proof. Ask yourself, what does the wealthy one feel as he moves through the day? What is the mood of the healthy one as she wakes in the morning? What is the inner dialogue of the one who is loved? Then begin to occupy that state, even if only in the silence of your mind. Pretend if you must, but pretend with persistence. Pretend with conviction until it feels natural. For what begins as imagination becomes belief, and belief solidifies into fact. Do not despise the small beginnings. A single act of assuming, repeated, will alter the very structure of your being. You may feel resistance at first, for the old self clings to its familiar chains. But if you persist, the new self will take root, and soon it will be easier to live in the assumption than in the doubt. The world will mirror back your new identity, and what once seemed a dream will become your normal life. Understand that the law of consciousness is impartial. It delivers to each one exactly what they assume to be true. It does not ask whether you deserve it, whether you are ready, or whether others approve. It simply reflects the state you occupy. If you live in the state of delay, you will meet with endless postponements. If you live in the state of arrival, your time will unfold now. Think of a man who desires freedom from debt. If he continually says, "One day I will be free," he keeps his freedom forever at arm's length. But if he dares to think, "I am free," and begins to feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude of one no longer burdened, then doors will open, opportunities will appear, and life will rearrange itself to make that freedom visible. The act of assuming brings the unseen into manifestation. Or think of the woman who longs for love. If she dwells in loneliness, she attracts more loneliness. If she spends her day saying, "Why am I still alone? When will someone come?" she is confirming the state of absence. But if she begins to walk in the consciousness of being cherished, if she feels the warmth of companionship, if she speaks to herself as one who is already adored, then love will come. Not because she chased it, but because she became it. Every great change begins in the unseen. The seed is invisible before the harvest is visible. So too must you nurture the unseen reality until it matures into the seen. When doubt arises, return to the feeling of your fulfilled state. When fear whispers, answer it with the voice of faith. When the world contradicts your assumption, remind yourself that the world is only echoing yesterday's belief. Today's assumption will shape tomorrow's fact. It is not arrogance to live as though your desire is already yours. It is faith. To say "I am" when the world says you are not is the boldness that creates miracles. You are not bound to the evidence of your senses. You are bound only to the state you accept as real. Your senses will catch up in time, for they cannot resist the command of the inner man. Many will not understand this principle, for they are slaves to appearances. They believe only what their eyes confirm. But you are called to a higher vision. You are called to see with the eyes of imagination, to hear with the ears of faith, to live from the reality that is yet unseen but already true. To act as if your time has come is to declare that you are greater than circumstance, greater than delay, greater than doubt. The power is within you now. You need not wait another day, another hour, another moment. Decide this instant to rise into the new state. Let your inner talk agree with it. Let your actions flow from it. Let your feelings be colored by it. Soon it will be impossible to distinguish between imagination and reality, for they will have merged into one. The world responds not to your wishes, but to your assumptions. It does not care what you want, it reflects what you are. If you are the one who waits, it will keep you waiting. If you are the one who arrives, it will meet you with arrival. Therefore, be bold. Assume the high state. Live as the fulfilled self. Do not ask, when will it come? Say instead, it is done. Do not wonder, how will it happen? Rest in the knowing that the how is not yours to manage. The moment you assume, creation is finished. If it doesn't start, finish. Your task is to persist in the end. The gardener who plants a seed does not dig it up every morning to see if it has grown. He trusts the unseen process, he waters it, he nurtures it, and in due time the harvest appears. So too must you plant the seed of assumption. Water it with faith and trust that life itself will bring it to fruition. Let your mind be filled with images of fulfillment. Let your nights be filled with dreams of arrival. Let your days be filled with the speech of accomplishment. And as you persist, you will awaken to find that what once was only imagined has become your tangible world. For life cannot deny the one who lives as if it were already so. So I say again, act as if your time has come, and you will prove that it has. For your time is not in the future, it is now. Your destiny is not waiting to unfold, it is unfolding in this moment, according to the state you choose to occupy. Choose wisely, choose boldly, choose now. To live as though your time has come is to place yourself in harmony with the eternal present. For all that you desire already exists in the realm of possibility, waiting only for your acceptance. The error is in believing that time must pass, that years must accumulate, before you can stand in your fulfillment. Yet time is but the unfolding of states, and you may at any moment step into the state of the one who already possesses. You are not a beggar asking life to grant you what you do not have. You are the creator, shaping life by the images and assumptions you hold within. The world bends not to your cries, but to your convictions. If you live in the assurance that your desire is complete, the world will confirm it. If you live in the uncertainty of waiting, the world will prolong the waiting. Every great discovery of the soul begins with this one truth: the outer follows the inner. The circumstances of your life are shadows cast by the light of your imagination. Change the light, and the shadow must alter. When you accept this law, you no longer look outward for permission to rise. You do not ask others if it is possible. You do not wait for signs in the heavens or evidence on the earth. You dare to declare, my time is now, and then you move through life as if it were true. Do not underestimate the subtlety of assumption. A single thought, quietly entertained, repeated often enough, becomes the framework of your world. You may not even notice when it takes root, for it feels so natural, so ordinary, and yet it governs everything. This is why you must be vigilant, not allowing idle fears to linger, not granting discouragement a place to dwell. Instead, nurture only those assumptions that reflect the life you wish to see. Act, speak, and think as if your greatest joy has already come to pass. There is a creative power within you that never rests. It is shaping, molding, and bringing forth according to the pattern of your inner life. You may use this power ignorantly by dwelling in fear, doubt, and lack, or you may use it consciously by dwelling in faith, confidence, and abundance. But one way or another, the power is always at work. The world you walk through today was yesterday's imagination. The world you will walk through tomorrow is being formed by what you accept as true right now. When you walk with the conviction that your time has come, you will notice a subtle shift. Your body will carry itself differently. Your words will take on a new tone. The people around you will begin to respond in ways that reflect your new identity. For though they may not know what has changed within you, they cannot help but feel its effect. Life speaks to life. Spirit recognizes spirit. The world cannot resist the vibration of one who has assumed their fulfillment. Imagine the one who has already received what you desire. How do they spend their mornings? How do they look at themselves in the mirror? How do they meet the challenges of the day? Begin to answer those questions and then live accordingly. Each small act, performed with faith, plants another seed in the soil of consciousness. Soon the harvest will be so abundant that you will forget there was ever a time when you doubted. Do not be swayed by appearances. Appearances are nothing more than yesterday's assumptions crystallized. If you desire a new tomorrow, do not argue with what you see today. Do not wrestle with the shadows. Turn instead to the light within. Form the image, hold the feeling, walk in the new state, and let the shadows rearrange themselves. When you are tempted to say, but nothing has changed, remind yourself that change begins invisibly. The roots grow beneath the soil before the flower breaks the ground. The foundation is laid in silence before the house appears. So too is your desire formed in the silence of imagination before it stands visible in the world. Patience is not waiting for something to come. Patience is the calm confidence that it already is. There will be voices, both within and without, that say it is not possible. You are deceiving yourself. Be realistic. But remember, reality is only what has already been assumed. Those who cling to appearances call them reality, but the true reality is the unseen cause. You are not deceiving yourself when you live as though your time has come. You are aligning yourself with the only creative force that exists. To act as if is not to pretend in weakness, it is to create in strength. Pretending without faith is mere play. Acting as if with conviction is the law of creation. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between desire and fulfillment, between dream and experience. When you step onto that bridge, you must not look down, you must not turn back. Continue walking, and the bridge will carry you to the world you have imagined. You ought to lead from the bridge which conditions you to the bridge which carries you to the world you have imagined. Think of the countless times in your life when you already lived this principle without knowing it. When you were a child and you imagined yourself as a hero, did not your heart race and your strength rise? When you dreamed of success in school or in work, did not your steps grow lighter and your efforts more determined? Even before the outcome appeared, you tasted it in imagination, and that taste propelled you forward. This is the same principle, now to be used consciously, deliberately, until your entire life is fashioned in its image. Do not say, I will believe when I see. Say instead, I believe and therefore I will see. The world is a mirror, not a teacher. It reflects what you project. To wait for proof is to misunderstand the mirror. No one stands before the glass and says, I will smile only when the reflection smiles first. You smile and the reflection answers instantly. So too with life. Assume the state and the world reflects it. You may wonder, but how can I persist in the feeling when the facts deny me? The answer is simple. Facts belong to the old state. Do not battle them. Do not argue with them. Let them be. They are fading pictures, dissolving forms. Attend instead to the new picture you carry within. Nourish it with your attention. Feel it more vividly than you feel the facts. Speak of it more often than you speak of the obstacle. In time, the new replace the old, as surely as dawn replaces night. Every desire you hold is a promise that its fulfillment already exists. You could not even imagine it if it were not possible. The vision within you is the echo of a reality already prepared. When you feel the longing for it, that is life itself inviting you to claim it. To deny the longing is to deny yourself. To accept it, to live as though it is already so, is to step into your rightful inheritance. You must learn to trust your imagination more than you trust appearances. For appearances deceive. They are transient, ever-changing. Imagination is eternal, the wellspring from which appearances arise. What you hold firmly in imagination must, in due season, solidify into fact. To act as if your time has come is to anchor yourself in that eternal reality, refusing to be swayed by the shifting sands of circumstance. There is a rest that comes with this way of living. No longer do you chase after life, begging it to grant you what you desire. You rest in the knowing that it is done. You walk in calm assurance. You meet each day not as a seeker, but as a possessor. This rest is not laziness, it is power. For in that rest you draw to yourself the very things others strive endlessly to obtain. So rise each morning and declare, my time has come, not with desperation but with certainty. Go about your tasks with the quiet joy of one who knows they are already complete. When doubt knocks at the door, answer with faith. When fear whispers, silence it with gratitude. When the world says, not yet, reply, already. In this way, you will weave a new reality, and life will have no choice but to reflect your conviction. For truly, life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are the source of the drama you see around you. If you do not like the play, change the script. If you do not like the scene, assume a new role. The stage is yours, the lines are yours, the outcome is yours. Act as if your time has come, and soon the curtain will rise on the very world you have imagined. And so, I say again with all the force I can muster, stop waiting. Stop postponing. Stop deferring your joy, your health, your wealth, your love to some uncertain future. Decide this moment to claim it. Live in it now. For your time is not approaching. Your time has already come. So I leave you with this truth. Your time is not somewhere ahead of you. It is here, it is now. It is waiting only for your acceptance. Stop rehearsing the story of delay and begin living the reality of fulfillment. Walk as though you already are the person you long to be. Speak as though every promise has already been kept. Feel as though every dream has already unfolded. For when you act as if your time has come, the universe has no choice but to rise and meet you there. The world will always mirror who you are being. And the moment you dare to be the fulfilled self, life itself will declare, yes, your time has come.